Away from South Africa now, let's go to Uganda, where some Uganda medical practitioners who are members of the Uganda Medical Association, UMA, have caused a stir in the country after they were seen kneeling down before President Yoweri Museveni, asking him to run for the presidency in 2026 during the ruling National Resistance Movement Youth Patriotism Symposium at Kololo Independence Grounds in Kampala last week. Now, led by their president, Dr. Samuel Odong Oledo, the health workers dressed in their medical regalia were seen in a video going on their knees before President Museveni, who has been in power since 1986 when he ascended to power through guerrilla warfare.
Now, in his words, Dr. Oledo says, and I quote, "Your Excellency, thank you. You have uplifted us, medical practitioners. We kneel before you after assessing that you are capable. We have assessed that you have the power, you have everything needed. Help us and contest again in 2026 and take us ahead as we secure our future. We want Uganda to reach where God expects it to be."
Now, joining us this morning to discuss this further is retired General GREGORY MUNTU. He's a former commander, Uganda People's Defense Forces, and currently the President General, Opposition Alliance for National Transformation Party. Thanks for joining us, General MUGISHA. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for hosting me.
All right, let's talk about, all of this. The UMA boss has come under heavy criticism since making these remarks, with a section of the UMA members also even calling for his resignation. What do you make of all, of this that has happened in the last couple of days?
The Uganda Medical Association has issued a statement signed by the Vice President and the Secretary General, disassociating themselves from the President, indicating that that act was done as an individual, and therefore it was not representative of the association. But looking at what he did, basically is a reflection of the degeneration of the moral fabric of our society. General Museveni is a very shrewd operator, and for quite a while he has made it known to people that psychophancy is rewarded. And those who question him, the number of fundamental issues in regard to governance of the country, mostly find themselves in a quite difficult situation. So those who are weak-willed, like a medical doctor kneeling and thanking an individual, much as he's a president, as if whatever payments they are getting are from an individual and not from the taxpayers, and that the institutions like Parliament are the ones in any case that pass budgets. It just shows you that those who are weak-willed will play the psychophancy game to attract attention, maybe looking for promotion, maybe looking for monetary gain. It's a practice that is rampant in the country. It's unfortunate, but that's where the country finds itself right now.
Let's talk about the current situation of the health sector in Uganda. Now, there have been speculations that before that Yoweri Museveni had promised to increase salary of medical practitioners from 1 million to 5 million and had kept that promise. On the one hand, some people have used this as an argument in support of the actions by these medical doctors who have, of course, been dissociated, or who the Uganda Medical Association have now dissociated themselves from. How would you rate the health sector and the Medical Practitioners Association in Uganda?
The medical sector, like many other sectors, have many problems because General Museveni is a micromanager. It's one of his biggest weaknesses. And because of being in power for quite a long time, that style of management has undermined the institution and paralyzed systems of governance. And therefore, you find in a case like of Dr. Oledo looking at General Museveni as if he's the one who increased their salary, as if he's paying money from his own pocket. It's money from taxpayers. One would have expected that people educated would understand that. But again, because of the nature of how he operates, people would want to, praise him as it's not only Dr. Oledo, there are many others professions who would be doing exactly that. The health sector, the educational sector have significant amounts of challenge because the money allotted in the budgets in our national budget is not equal to the needs or the demands of those sectors. Many other areas, it's a mismanaged economy. Uganda is quite a rich country, but because of lack of discipline and the levels of corruption that they are, it is so rampant. Such sectors are having a big problem, big challenge. That's why you find that for a long time, for that increase to be made, it's been a battle over years. Well, it's been increased to 5 million, all right. That's about 1,000, maybe 200, 300 United States dollars.
All right. I also want to talk about Yoweri Museveni now. He's been in power since 1986. We're having conversations now about elections in 2026, and of course a possible seventh term in office. Is there any plans, of him eventually letting go of the presidential seat? Is there any way that maybe someone else will be able to win elections in Uganda?
Looking at the choreographed acts that have been happening in the last 6 months or so from the ruling party, you find many leaders, senior leaders from different parts of the country urging him, as has happened in the last 3, 4, 5 times, to run again in 2026. It's normally choreographed. I think it's just a repetition of what we've seen in the past. Therefore, I suspect that he must be ready himself. He never comes out himself until the last minute to run for 2026. And of course, wherever he runs, the whole electoral system is manipulated. However, on the brighter side, there are many who've done that in many African countries, but there's always an end. Even when you succeed for a while, there's always an end to that. Right always triumphs over evil. And therefore, much as he may want to run in 2026, doesn't mean that necessarily the way he has pulled it off all the time, that it would necessarily work. Therefore, those who want change have to keep organizing to ensure that we fail whatever attempts they have of manipulating another electoral process as they have done in the past.
All right, let's talk about, the fate of Dr. Oledo. 89 reports having that 89% of medical practitioners have called for his resignation. We also have reports that the Uganda Governing Council of the Uganda Medical Association were meeting today to determine his fate. Do you think that this will lead to him, officially resigning, or what punitive measures do we foresee that the Uganda Medical Association will be meeting against Dr. Oledo?
The Uganda Medical Association has a significant number of credible doctors, and the statement issued on its behalf by the Vice President and the Secretary General has urged the public to remain calm, that they have got internal processes that they are going to conduct, and possibly it's part of that is the meeting they are going to hold, for them to salvage their image as a profession. My hope is that, or even for himself, once he recognizes that whatever he did has brought the kind of negative image on the profession of the doctors, maybe he would voluntarily resign. If he doesn't do that, then my hope is that the professionals who have a sense of dignity would push him out. I mean, you just can't understand how someone who's been to the university for 5 years come out as a professional doctor. Even if things were so difficult in Uganda, you'd have opportunity to go elsewhere. You just don't kneel to a person, to a human being, even when that person is a president, just because you want to be either promoted or get money. That's the lowest form of indignity.
I mean, kneeling is not part of the medical code of conduct. The last time we checked. Thank you very much, retired General GREGORY MUGISHA MUNTU, for joining us this morning. We will be following up with the updates to see what eventually is being done about this update in Uganda.
Welcome. Thank you.